Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. Joel Embiid has undergone surgery on his torn meniscus. The trade deadline has passed with Daryl Morey acquiring Buddy Hield, Cameron Payne, and 2 second-round picks. Pat Bev, Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, Daniel House, and 4 second-round picks are sent out. Have the Sixers gotten better, worse, or about the same? Do the moves signal a push to compete this year, or are they simply setting themselves up for a summer overhaul? The Flyers return from the All-Star break with a win over the Florida Panthers, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Owen Tippett returns to the lineup against his former team. Will the Orange and Black hold on to a playoff spot behind Sam Ersson? The Eagles will kick off the 2024 season in Sao Paulo, Brazil, sacrificing a home game. The Birds' opponent has yet to be announced. Pitchers and catchers report next week. Philadelphia will host 5 group stage matches in the 2026 World Cup, as well as 1 round of 16 match on the 4th of July. All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. It's had a nice little taste of spring out there today, I feel like. It's nice to be able to hit 5 o'clock after work and have the sun still be up. Felt a little balmy out, I would even say, today a little bit compared to the last couple weeks, so feeling pretty good.
Nicer.
Yeah, man. For all the sad news that happened with Sixers today, I feel like I needed a little bit of sunshine to at least warm me up a little bit.
Yeah, the groundhog was right. Some might say he did not see a shadow. And then as soon as he did not see a shadow, we've had sunlight every day since.
That little motherfucker knows what he's doing.
Just was not expecting that. I mean, what'd they say? He's usually right 39% of the time.
Yeah, not really a great track record.
Not a bad record, though, for a groundhog.
Hey, if he was a baseball hitter, that'd be a great batting average, you know what I'm saying? If he's a three-point shooter, that's a great three-point shooter. If he's a power play, that's the best historic power play. So in some respects...
So how are they even measuring... how do they even factor that? Are they judging that by the temperature up to a certain amount of time? How do you determine whether there's been 6 more weeks or whatever of winter or not? What's the criteria?
That's gotta be tricky too, because with global warming, it is historically. We're getting historically warmer winters.
Yeah, global warming's moving the goalposts.
Yeah. I know, global warming. It's like Puxatawny Phil is kind of cheating now. He's like, oh, that temperature's been going up. My record's getting better. You know.
We gotta ask this motherfucker what's up. People aren't asking the real questions out here around in Punxsutawney. They're just being happy with the normal answers.
Yeah, they're dumbass tradition. But I mean, it is nice to have some sunlight because the Philly sports scene, until the Flyers started back up, had been extremely bleak.
Shrouded in darkness.
We will certainly get to the Sixers and all their ineptitude on deadline day. But there wasn't really a whole lot else to talk about either. The Eagles are not in the Super Bowl.
Just picking up coordinators and other... Yeah, they got a shit. I mean, how many coaches more do they got to bring on this thing? But
Sirianni doesn't need to do anything, man. He needs to go into defensive meetings. He needs to change up his his principles.
Yeah, change the order of the principles.
Yeah.
That's just what he's going to be doing every week, just sitting at his desk with that list, just on the whiteboard with like magnets, just shifting them around and trying to figure out the best combination week to week.
It's like a company that changes their, like, here's our core values every year. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, integrity, persevere. Like, miss you with that shit. Like, that's your job.
Right, some kind of acronym sort of thing.
Yeah, we got Jalen Hurts for that shit. We don't need 2 of you goobers out here giving us fucking quotes all day.
Meh.
That would be funny if Sirianni tried to force himself to become one of those Jalen Hurts quotes guys.
It'd be terrible.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that already. The way he stands for all his players.
It would remind me of like a Michael Scott trying to come up with something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what he does. I don't know. I don't hate the moves yet. They're doing all the good shit. But yeah, it's been a slow week or two of every other major sports team in Philadelphia. So. Not terrible. I'll take a downtime than a super depressing time, but today sucked.
We didn't walk through the fire just to smell the smoke, everybody. You know, he just drags it out too long.
Way too long.
Because the smoke,
that's what he does.
I think smoke inhalation.
It's like,
can kind of
the smoke can hurt sometimes, but then sometimes it's good because you can know.
It's like a warning
that there's
sign.
A fire.
Yeah.
And then you can get out of the house, but then sometimes you want to be in the house because you ever
sit by a campfire, then it kind of goes in your eyes, and then you move over and it doesn't, that's a win. But then sometimes you gotta keep moving because it'll chase you around. Yeah, he could do some bullshit.
And then, yeah, you know, if it does get to you, if the fire does get to you, you got to stop, drop, and roll. But yeah, it's just like how they teach you.
Sometimes you might roll into another fire.
Yeah, and then that's just even more adversity, and like how they teach you in Boy Scouts. Like, the most important thing is to take care of yourself and your safety. So yeah, even though we walked through the fire, we did smell the smoke, but we faced the adversity, and then we planted some seeds, and it became a flower that grew through, you know, with his flower
bullshit.
analogy.
Like,
and the flower, he just keeps going.
Yeah. And the flower dies, but if you plant things like black-eyed Susans, those are perennials, and they're going to come back next spring, you know.
Those
That's why
nice.
you want to make sure your perennials. Yeah, I got some in the back.
I like those plants.
Perennials are where it's at, then.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about bringing shit inside.
They just keep coming back.
Just let it die and wait till spring.
You got a weed with perennials, though?
A what?
You got to pull the weeds out?
Yeah, you clean them up, you know, but
I guess you got to do that anyway.
Yeah, they're easy to manage for the most part. Hostas, sedums.
Oh,
got a few things out there.
Dropping that.
Some
plant
stuff
knowledge.
I got to replace.
wait till spring, everybody. She's about to pop off.
Yeah, Mr. Green Thumb over here. Dave would be proud, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we should jump into it then.
Yeah,
I
how
guess
do we want to
here,
get into
Yeah,
it?
what do we want to start with?
Let's get the Sixers out of the way. It's going to be much angst, a topic of much anger. I don't know. Again, I don't know where we begin with this goddamn team. I guess we have to start with the Embiid thing.
Yes.
Well, we didn't. It's not like we didn't see this coming. We knew that there was a possibility he would be out for the remainder of the regular season, with a hope to be ready for the postseason. But even at that, it still seems as though we're gonna get a hobbled Embiid. I mean, you know, it's an injury and a recoup time that they said he could be out for the whole season. Got the surgery done, and they're like optimistic about him being back, which never is good unless they're like, no, he'll definitely be back. Like, obviously you're optimistic he'll be good enough to play, but it's a lot of time off between now and the postseason. Odds are you'll be a lower seed, so it won't be the easiest battle. And, just terrible news, honestly. Just gutting news.
I mean, I will say that it's not ideal that he's going to be out. I think they said he'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. But at the same time, what that kind of indicates, like I got some notes here. I've become an expert on meniscus tears.
Yeah.
And this was Embiid's third as a Sixer.
That's good.
And been listening to a lot of podcasts. Like every beat reporter has done an interview with an orthopedist that works on legs. So I've read all of the articles, listened to a bunch of podcasts. So this is from this guy, Jeff Stotts. I think he's like at In Street Clothes on Twitter or whatever. He's like a sports science doctor for a while. So he was on Zach Lowe's podcast, and he cited a couple of things with Embiid, right? So he said, first, Embiid previously had a lateral meniscus tear in his left knee. This was back in 2017. I think I talked about it last week. And he had
Hawk series.
that was his right knee.
Yeah, that was a different one. You're right.
He had a meniscectomy. I think that's how you say that, to remove the damage.
Damn, he can't have kids anymore? No.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur might be the only one. They take that meniscus out. You're sterile after that. But you get too much of the meniscus removed, it kind of compromises your thrusting ability.
Vasectomy, what the fuck?
Hey, you never know. A guy that big, that knee works in funny ways. But he had that taken out. And then earlier this year, he missed those 5 games with knee inflammation and soreness. So what this guy's saying is that he thinks that the Kuminga falling on Embiid didn't start it. A few sports scientists have said that. But regardless, they say that he'd been walking around with this displaced flap.
Displaced hate when my flap gets displaced.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if your flap got displaced?
Oof.
I couldn't imagine. I don't even know how that would even No, I don't know. A flap?
Yeah, we're not talking the whole bone. We're talking a flap.
Just
you want your flap to be in place.
Yeah, you don't want that thing flapping around, despite what it sounds like.
Yeah, a flappy meniscus does not sound like a good meniscus to me.
Sounds like a terrible meniscus.
I'd rather have a floppy disk.
Flappy. Flappy disk.
I'm not talking about the back. I'm talking about floppy disks.
Floppy disks.
You
I remember
those
floppy disks.
from elementary school. You remember them from first grade?
Yeah, they had the games on there.
Yeah, they would hold like 2.4 megabytes.
Like
you felt
Oregon
like you had the
Trail
world in your
shit.
palm, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do like a floppy disk. Yo, this is funny, right? This is funny. So, like, some of the employees I work with are... The floppy disks predate them. They never seen a floppy disk in their life.
Oh, yeah.
So, you tell them, like, the ERP, Trevor, you remember Microsoft Dynamics from when you worked at Disk Makers. It has the floppy disk in the top that you click on save.
That's still like the save logo in most programs, too. And it's like, people are like, what the fuck is this?
So, like, I was telling one of my, like, people I was training, I was like, yeah, go click on the floppy disk. They were like, what the hell's that? Because they're like 25.
Damn.
They're like, yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. I'm
You
like,
come
yeah,
back 15 minutes later, you're like, did you do it? They're like, yeah, it's over here somewhere.
I always have to be like, oh, I'm showing my age here a little bit, even though I'm not even that old. But I'm like, yeah.
Dude, when I was working there, I had someone one time submit their artwork for a project on floppy disks.
How many floppy disks was
I don't know.
that?
I forget. It was the weirdest thing, but we had to try to like track down a floppy disk drive.
Was there one in the building?
I think someone had one, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, yeah, go into probably in that weird attic area. They had like some old
that
computer
was weird, yeah.
or some shit. Yeah. That was funny.
Huh. But anyway, yeah, floppy disks, man. Shout out floppy disks. But anyway, so yeah, he has this displaced flap in his meniscus. And then what this doctor was saying was, in the event that there's a full tear, they shut someone down. They have to repair the whole meniscus. And that's the entire season. He's out like 6 months. In this case, he's only going to be out. He's going to be evaluated in 4 weeks. So it's fair to say that the displaced flap was not a full tear. And it's just, as the Sixers have been calling it, like a procedure. It's not a full-on surgery. I do think it's lame that they're calling it a procedure and they're not acknowledging or they're not considering it a tear. Because for all intents and purposes, a displaced flap, is a tear. The Sixers medical staff, as I said last week, is just constantly on some BS.
But didn't he go to San Diego, though, to get that shit done? Or L.A.?
He flew back to Philly.
Or they flew in a special doctor for this shit?
Maybe.
He does, like, all the, like, L.A. or San Diego. It's, like, a well-known
It wouldn't surprise me if they
got the best flap doctor in the country.
Dude, flapping left and right.
You got to make sure you get rid of the flap, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, so wrapping up. So what the Sixers said they'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Shams Charania, who initially broke it as a tear, and the Sixers tried to tell him not to, who was ultimately right that it is a tear, is saying that he thinks it'll be about 6 to 8 weeks before Embiid comes back.
I think that's fine.
But Shams, like Woj is saying, yeah, it seems like there is hope he comes back. Shams is saying, yeah, I'm told in 6 to 8 weeks he'll most likely be back. So I'm taking Shams in this one. Like, he's been right about this from the beginning. 6 to 8 weeks has Embiid coming back. End of March, early April. Ramps up for the playoffs. The Sixers are probably going to be a play-in team. So hopefully he can get his legs under him by then.
I think the more time, the better. Even if they do evaluate him in, a 4 week, they're going to reevaluate him. Even if they have good signs then, give it the other 6 to 8 just to be safe. Because his track record will say that he will get hurt again at some point before the end of the year. So might as well give them the extra time. It's not like they're fucking in contention or doing anything crazy right now anyway. So I think just the more time's better for the big man. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as it may be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they did rush him back in 4 weeks, that would be ill-advised. He's probably going to get hurt.
And you got to
come back and
keep
play
his expectations tempered too. Don't be letting him fucking, say he's fine and do his thing. Like, you just got to...
That's why this, got to the point that it's at in the first place.
Yeah.
Doctors got to, they got to take control of the situation and look out for him, which they have not done in most of his career here after his first couple years where they were right to sit him out. But hopefully they figured something out. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess there isn't a whole lot else to say about the Embiid injury. We'll see when he gets back.
Yeah, he's going to be gone for a while. And the team looks dog shit right now without him. I'll say that. Holy shit.
Yeah, they look extremely ass.
It is bad. It is rough to watch.
Bad.
It feels like Maxey had the game last week after we recorded where he put up 51. It's like, oh, they can win if without Embiid. The only way they're going to win without Embiid is if Maxey puts up 50.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
which he probably can do that a few more times, but you can't expect him to
Not
consistently do
consistent
that.
play like that. No, it's just sad to see. They just kind of are flailing around, and I don't know. It's just a sad team to watch, which is kind of what we expected. I feel like a rough-looking team at the start of the season, and they built up the hope, and Embiid came out looking crazy, and Maxey was great, and everyone looked really good. Embiid gets out, which inevitably he does every year, and the team just, oof.
Yeah, they've never been more poorly equipped to play without him than this year, right? Because in past years, you would have Ben Simmons and a bunch of shooters. You'd have Jimmy Butler, J.J. Redick, Ben Simmons, right? Like, you'd have guys. And you'd have James Harden, who put up 40-point games against the Celtics in the playoffs and won us those games. This year, you have Maxey, which is great, but I don't think he's ready to be that number one guy like Harden or Butler was. And they don't have the shooters that Ben Simmons had surrounding him, and it's bad, dude. The defense looks awful.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba sucks.
Ass.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre. We were all about Kelly Oubre earlier in the year.
He's looking back to the guy that we assumed we were going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Diane, I know you are probably listening.
Sorry.
I did tell you in the beginning of the year, once the season started and he was playing good, that I owed you an apology. I don't rescind the apology, but I'm just here to say I told you so. And yeah, he's turned to a pumpkin. Rocco can't get healthy. No. Melton, he has lower lumbar or whatever. It just sounds like his back is just contorted. Who am I forgetting? Batum, hamstring. He's 35. That hamstring's probably is what it is. Yeah. They're just not
up.
good.
They had to start Daniel House the other day.
Yeah. Jaden Springer started.
Yeah.
We'll get to him. He'd been playing. He was playing good day. But they're just a team in shambles right now. It's the more unwatchable than the process, because at least in the process years, you knew they were going to be bad, and you just looked forward to seeing young players develop. This team, like, you want them to be good. They don't even really have young players to develop that much, and it just it's a chore to watch them, man. The last couple of games, I couldn't. The game against Dallas, I was at band practice, and I came home for the fourth quarter when they really started to blow the game, and it was just difficult to watch.
Yeah.
Then last night's game, first half, I was all in. Third quarter, I just tuned out. I was just messing around on my phone, wasn't even paying attention. It's just a chore to watch them.
Yeah, it's rough.
They went from appointment television to disappointment television.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game with this team historically the last couple of years with Embiid. I mean, even with other pieces here and there with Ben and all those guys that we had before, like they were at least could squeak out a win here and there, but the team has historically looked, you kind of hold your breath when Embiid's not playing when this team's out there. And it just sucks this year that they just look so bad. But they're in it for a little bit. You're like, all right, first quarter, second quarter, not too bad, not terrible. Second half, they just don't have, there's nothing left. But without anybody playing, what do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, like I was thinking watching one of the games that, I mean, without Embiid, you would think that they can just play really fast. Maxey's really fast, right?
But even you had Pat Bev playing 25, 30-some minutes, like...
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is...
Great defense, but you ain't going to get any points that way.
Yeah, they don't have enough guys that can play fast with each other. Because ideally, they would do the thing that Ben Simmons' teams would always do when Embiid was out. Just every play is a fast break, every play is early offense. You're getting a bucket in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock, and you just run the score up. But they can't even do that because you got KJ Martin playing big minutes.
Yeah.
He's ass, dude. You got... Who else is... Well, Mo Bamba, we've already talked about, sucks. Tobias, he's actually been fine, but if Tobias is your second best player in and out, you're not going to win that many games. It's just... I don't know, man. I don't know. There aren't any easy answers.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all you can do at this point is just wait and see where they end up by the time the playoffs are all around, what position they're in, if Embiid is back. There's really not a whole lot to say about the team in the interim. There's not going to be much to watch there.
No, it literally just hinges upon Embiid. That's it. I mean, we could pivot to the free agent, like to the trade deadline moves and shit like that, but none of those screamed win now. I mean, they're all just kind of their moves. I mean, they're okay. You know what I mean? But they're not like, oh shit, I didn't look at my phone and I was like, holy shit, like, wow, we got a big piece to play, like, to patch us over for when Embiid gets back. Holy shit, like, they're all just kind of like, Buddy Hield is great, but without Embiid, how does that offense work? I don't know. I mean, it just, none of it really was that exciting for this year. It's good for long run, but
Well, if you look at each one of the moves individually, they kind of got worse and worse as the day went on. Because Buddy Hield, you could make the case that...
When I first heard that they got Buddy Hield, and it was for three second-round picks?
3 second-round picks.
I think was it 2 or 3?
That
was 3.
3-2.
It was 3, Korkmaz, and Marcus Morris.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that. I've always liked Buddy Hield. They're desperately needing good three-point shooting.
Yeah.
They've been having... the worst in terms of 3-point attempts a game in the whole league. It's been just terrible from that point. So definitely a need being filled there for sure. And he's the best guy for that available. So I was totally fine with that. And then it just got weirder and like, okay, what are they doing? What are we doing here, guys? Just started to feel more like the objective was to get under the salary cap or the luxury cap and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, which, I mean, they've done that cowardly shit in the past, right? Josh Harris, I mean, he's buying more teams, man. He's got to save money. Now he's going to have to fly from Washington to Philly to New Jersey. He's got to save that jet fuel, you know what I'm saying? You know how he does? By not paying Jaden Springer's contract. That's how he saves that jet fuel money. He's an asshole. But yeah, the moves just got progressively worse, right? Like, you go from picking up Buddy Hield. Okay, cool. Did you probably give up a little more than I would have liked? Yeah, I mean, that Toronto 2024 pick is probably going to be a late first-round pick, but you can usually find a gem every now and again. Or, I'm sorry, an early second. Yeah, it's an early second, which is essentially the same as a late first.
All right.
So you give that up. Okay. Then what was next? You send Daniel House to Detroit for what? We sent Daniel House to Detroit for a second, right? Or did we send him and a second to Detroit? I forget.
I don't think we got anything back there except for... I think that was just a pure salary dump.
We just dumped him?
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
No, I have in my notes...
Maybe
we sent him and a second-round pick to Detroit, so we gave up another second just to get off his contract.
4 seconds,
which, I mean, he's not a great player. He was the dumbass that was chucking up shots when Embiid was going for 70 points.
Yeah.
So that's not cool. But
he also did you see that picture he showed up to the game the other night wearing the Apple Vision thing? I was like, get this nerd out of here.
So he was expendable in my book, but to just give him up is not great. But then this was the stunner. This one hurts. I'm about to have to do 2 of my 2 shots after this. We traded Pat Bev to the Bucks for Cam Payne, who sucks, and a second-round pick. I guess we had to get one of those seconds back, but we didn't have to give up Pat Bev. But, I mean, that's just disappointing.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul of the team, man. The most Philly athlete ever, and we didn't even keep him for a season. Like, when I saw that news, I was almost in tears.
Yeah,
that shit hurt.
Pretty rough. Especially, if you consider after Embiid went down, that first game they had was against... well, I guess not after he was officially out, but when he got scratched for the Denver game.
Yeah.
And Pat Bev made that game fun. I mean, we lost, but he still
he
made that game fun and exciting to watch. And he was one of the few guys you could still kind of look forward to just seeing what he does on the court and all this and that. But
plus, I feel like
don't
he
even have that anymore now.
I feel like he would get the team at least involved or excited or he just was a true definition of the vibe guy in the locker room. Like, he's going to put up crazy numbers? No, but he's consistently who he is. You know what I mean? Like, he puts up decent numbers. So he'll get you 4 or 5 points a game, but good amount of assists too. Maybe a block or 2, maybe a steal or 2. Like, he does all the scrappy shit that, that kind of gets overlooked. And he fits so well into the city. He was like, dude, I should have been here when I started my career. I loved it here. But it fucking sucked to get pretty much nothing in return for giving up someone like that. And to the Bucks, who are fucking like sans the Doc debacle, like pretty
Doc
stacked.
Rivers.
Like, damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, so then they add insult to injury. They trade Jaden Springer to the Celtics for a second-round pick. Like, why are you trading guys to your two biggest rivals in the conference, right? And, like, they're your two best perimeter defenders. Who's playing defense on the Sixers now?
Yeah, it's a bitch move. Like I said, and not to take away, like, when I saw the Buddy Hield move, I was like, all right. They were like, all right, we're going to make a big move before the deadline. It's going to be, even Nick Nurse was like, we're not going to be light with this. We're going to make aggressive moves. And like you said, Trevor, like, I thought that was the start of something cool, but then it just kind of made everything else feel kind of null and void. Like, so we got Buddy Hield and what?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I wasn't that torn up about getting rid of Springer.
But
I don't
just to the point that
I just don't think he's a guy that you can play in the playoffs. I don't think you can put him in the rotation in the playoffs.
But it's still just a principle,
he's like a zero factor on offense.
I mean, it's the principle. They give up on young players too quickly.
Yeah.
He's 21. Look what happened when we gave up Isaiah Joe. He's been hooping.
It's true.
Second round
but
pick.
He could always shoot a little bit.
This is just a quintessential Philadelphia thing to do in general in all sports. Where, like, you get rid of a guy that might not seem like that big of a deal, but you give him to a division rival who is your biggest division rival, or the biggest rival in general, and this could come around, bite us in the ass. Might not be this year, might not be next year.
Yeah, Jaden
but
Springer
at some point, this shit's gonna come down to
like
him shooting a shot and kicking our ass for some bullshit.
Yeah, I could see the classic thing where one of our players goes to Boston and becomes good, like when Patrick Chung went to the Patriots and became a decent player.
Yep.
I was like, where the fuck was this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shit like that. It's like, you could send him anywhere else you want to. You got multiple teams you could send him out to. You got to send him to fucking Boston.
Yeah, you couldn't find another team that would give you a second round pick.
Anybody? Hello?
Yeah.
That's just a stupid thing. I hate that shit.
Yeah, it's
Don't be giving Boston anybody. They don't deserve that.
Now he can hang out with Joe Mazzulla and watch The Town.
Dude, he's going to develop into a Marcus Smart type player. I'm telling you, we're going to regret this. I'm saying it. What's today's date? February 8th? 2024 at 9:31 p.m. Mark my words. Jaden Springer might not be this season. It's definitely not going to be this season. Might not even be next season. By 2025, 26, my man's going to be a baller.
2040.
He's going to be Marcus Smart, dude. And we are going to regret it.
I mean, my instinct was like, well, he's just another Matisse Thybulle. But to your point, at least we gave Thybulle a pretty good run here before they decided to move on.
Thybulle was like 25 when we traded him.
Yeah.
Springer's 21.
Till the whole COVID debacle, he just didn't want to get bags. That shit really tanked his fucking career.
Fucking hippie.
Yeah. He got the first shot, but not the second one.
That is
what
the
a
funniest
dumbass,
part.
dude.
Right in the time for the playoffs, couldn't go make the jump, and our defense crumbled, and that was just, Yeah, so he was never right after that.
I like Springer more than Thybulle. Let me do these shots. So, these shots are to, I made that stupid bet that Jimmy Butler would be a Sixer. I didn't, the thing is, I honestly didn't really think that was going to happen, but I just said, what the hell, I'll do it for the fun.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like
you
just wanted to do some shots.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, but...
I'll do one with you.
Oh, you want one?
All right, I'll do one with you.
Yeah, let me pour you one.
I won't do two, but I'll do one. Nice, and it's the Flyers one.
Yeah, you got the good one. The one good team in town who we'll talk about.
It was like, I'm going to do 2 shots if Pat Mahomes is still a Chief next year.
Nah, I won't go that far.
Yeah. If Pat Mahomes wins 2 games next year, I'll do it. Thank you. Yeah, it sucked, man. He was even kind of sad, too, about it when he announced it.
That's drinking, buddy.
Yes. Warm tequila on a Thursday. Nothing better.
Hey, that's drinking, buddy.
Yeah, just sucks. All around vibes guy. Fit into the city. We were all crazy and loved him. He loved us.
But I was crazy in love like Beyonce.
Not an untypical thing to see with the Sixers, where it's like you got a guy like Butler. The guy vibes so well with the city. He played well for the city. Boom. They didn't want to bring him back. A guy like Pat Bev. not a whole lot, but kind of the blue-collar-esque guy. He gives you that feel, you know. Let him go. Again, to a rival. Not that they're a direct rival, but still. The Bucks have always been on our ass. It just stinks.
Yeah, it was not a good deadline. Like, I don't want to sit here and belabor the point about Pat Bev. Like, everyone that listens to this pod knows how we all feel about him. It sucks. My problem is, I got a couple problems with this. So they freed up these roster spots, right? And it's not so much a rumor. I think it's pretty much going to be a foregone conclusion that Kyle Lowry is coming home, which, like, don't get that twisted. Like, I respect Kyle Lowry. He's from here. He's a Philly guy. Yeah. He's kind of washed. Like, given the choice between having him and Pat Bev.
You think they're going to give him the keys to the city, too? They're going to just do that ceremony
and then
again?
cut him in 3 months.
Well, Marcus Morris doesn't live here anymore, so they're probably going to ask him for the key back.
Marcus, give us that key back. We need it back, I'm sorry.
And then he's going to see Kyle Lowry get it back, and he's like, man, this is some bullshit. Traded me and gave the keys to someone else, but...
I just don't see how it's exciting as a new player now coming into the situation where Embiid's out for the foreseeable future. You cut a great locker room guy. The rest of the team's pretty young and either injured and old or young and playing their ass off and not really winning games. Like, it's not like you're a true contender team right now. They're not a contender. They aren't. So, like, it's not an exciting time to play for the Sixers.
Yeah.
As it is. I mean, could have been, a couple months ago when Embiid and Maxey were doing 30 points a game apiece. Like, okay, yeah, but now you kind of lost the whole mojo that you had. You're at ground zero now.
Yeah, I mean, the vibes in the locker room can't be good. They're losing a bunch of games. The vibes on the court suck. You traded away a locker room guy in Pat Bev. Bringing Kyle Lowry, presumably you bring in Kyle Lowry. It seems like that's going to happen. Is he supposed to just fix the culture all by himself while they're still losing games?
Chunky little man who's late in his career just because he went to Colonel Doherty, like, woo, I don't know, like that. Fuck, this whole bringing people back to Philadelphia because they're a Philadelphian or they've spent time in this city is getting a little bit belabored here, I think.
And look how it worked for the Eagles.
Across sports in general. I mean, yeah, you got Fangio, cool, but like...
I'm talking about how it worked for the Eagles in a not good way. Like, Byard wasn't great.
No. Yeah. You're bringing all these guys like, oh, man, I love Philadelphia. Like, I don't give a fuck if you love the city, if you're playing sports, if you're good, cool. If you're not, I don't give a shit where you're from.
Yeah.
This isn't we're not recruiting people to go play for Alabama or Temple because that makes more sense. It's high school shit. This is like, we're talking about pros. What are we doing here?
I don't really get it.
I don't like it at all.
I think Kyle Lowry's a Nick Nurse guy. They won a championship together. So I think Nick Nurse is probably kind of pulling some strings there. I think he's also a Daryl Morey guy too. Daryl Morey pulled for him in Houston.
Yeah, but he's not fucking Kawhi Leonard. It's Kyle Lowry.
I hear you. But I'm just saying I think that's kind of why he ended up here. But my problem with it is like they were putting too much stock into these buyout guys.
Old too.
Yeah,
older.
These buyout guys are old and they're bought out because they're making shit money, and they aren't that good. Right. Like, need I remind you of the backup centers we had as buyout guys? We're talking DeAndre Jordan.
Hell yeah.
Greg Monroe, who was basically the reason we lost that Raptors series.
Yeah.
Willie Cauley-Stein. Dwayne Dedman.
Oh, fuck. Forgot about him.
Damn.
Right? All these guys sucked. And, like, we're going to sit here and say, we're going to buy out Kyle. We're going to get Kyle Lowry off the buyout market. He's going to move the needle. No, he's not.
No.
We're going to get, I don't even know what centers are available because Drummond stayed with Chicago.
Chicago didn't even give us a call back.
We're going to get
They called into Chicago. They just didn't even fucking talk to us.
Left us on
I
red.
would have liked Andre Drummond.
I definitely would have brought him.
That would have been a good pickup.
I liked him prior before
it sounded
he
like
left.
they wanted a lot for him.
Yeah. Well, he's
expiring contract. The Bulls are stupid.
Yeah.
We're not a Chicago podcast, but like the Bulls are dumb. That team's very poorly run.
They held out to like everybody.
Yeah, because they want to compete. They want to compete for a playing spot. It's the dumbest thing in the world. It's
There's 2 extra
They're just holding.
They want the revenue for those 2 extra games.
They're holding everybody
hostage. That's exactly what
Yeah.
it is. They're greedy. But the buyout market just isn't going to result in anything super effective for this team. I think
it's also disappointing that we don't get to see Kyle Lowry and Pat Bev play together, because
Could
that
you
would have just
imagine
been
that?
so much annoying energy on the court.
Just a couple old geezers just messing around with people.
Fucking, just pissing people off. That would have been cool.
Couple short kings.
Yeah.
You know what, though? It will be fun to see them play against each other.
Yeah.
A couple old geezers. It'll just be like, what do you call it? Like, fighting like old men.
Put up the old fisticuffs. Yeah.
So that'll be fun, but yeah. So that's my one problem with it, right? Is that they're putting way too much stock in the buyout market to fix this season. The other thing is seems like they're putting all their eggs in the basket of like this cap space that they're going to have in the off season, right? Because they freed up all this cap space. They didn't trade any of their first round picks. They got a couple seconds back that they'll probably also look to move. So they're putting everything into the off season when the best free agent available is Paul George, who's probably going to re-sign. After that, it's Tobias Harris, probably.
He might even go to the Pacers again, because now they're looking pretty good.
The Pistons?
Remember he went, no, Paul George?
Oh, Paul George is probably going to re-sign. Siakam was rumored to be a Sixers target, but he's probably going to re-sign.
There's rumors that he'd go back home where he came from, though. I'm not going to lie, only because they're looking pretty decent now when you got Halliburton and all that shit out there.
Either way, he ain't coming here.
No. But that's the weird thing, though, is that this isn't super unpredictable, because Morey said in the offseason when fucking Harden was drinking wine in China, was like, I'm not coming back here. And Morey was like, I promised Embiid that we would build next offseason. It's going to be a big offseason. But, like, what? You didn't really make any big moves this season to help us out that way. You're making all this cap space. There's not a lot of guys to get next year. So, like, what's our end goal here?
Yeah, what's the big?
I don't get it.
What is the big?
I guess you never know who's going to become available by trade.
That's the only thing they're banking on. Which,
yeah,
I mean,
but
but what trade value do we have? We don't have anybody else to really get rid of.
We have like 5 first-round picks.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're banking on a star becoming pissed, which doesn't happen every year. It happened with Dame. This past year, it happened with Harden when we traded him, but that doesn't happen every year.
No. Yeah. Well, unless you're Harden, then it does happen every year.
Well, it happens to him every year. But what quality? Like, also, how like high level of a star are we getting? Are we talking like Zach LaVine? I don't want him. Like, that's probably the level of star we're talking right now. It's like you need someone better than that. I don't see the big picture here. I don't know. I don't get what this team's doing. But and then in the short term, they're going to be extremely ass. Look at this, right? So here's their roster. We're talking Tyrese Maxey, D'Anthony Melton, who's out with this back injury, which seems like pretty bad, whatever it is. Cam Payne, who isn't that good. Buddy Hield, who like should lift their offensive ceiling. Not even their ceiling.
But he can't carry the team.
He should lift their offensive floor. I don't know how much he's lifting their ceiling without Embiid. Him and Embiid will be interesting together if that happens. Then we're talking Turk Smith. Turk Smith's been balling, actually.
Yeah, I like Turk Smith.
Need to play him. He might get to play some more minutes with this butt-ass roster. Then we're talking forwards. Tobias, Batum, Oubre, KJ Martin, who sucks. Ricky Council IV. He's shown a thing or two, but like I don't think he's that good. And Robert Covington, who's also like seems like he might be out for a while.
He just is MIA.
Then we're talking B-Ball Paul. Still love B-Ball Paul. And then Mo Bamba. This roster's ass, dude.
Yeah.
Especially when you figure 3 or 4 of the guys are injured. So long term, I don't know what's going on. Short term, they're going to be hot garbage. It's going to be a very interesting next couple months. By very interesting, I mean probably pretty boring.
It's not good.
No. They didn't have Punxsutawney Phil calling an early spring for them. They said early doom.
Punxsutawney Phil said, I'm going to extend y'all's winter of discontent forever.
We're going to be depressed for a while now.
Punxsutawney Phil was the guy holding the gun in the astronaut meme.
It's just astronaut, groundhog. Fuck. No one ever saw that coming. Game's a game, baby.
Yeah.
That's just a life of Philadelphia fan right there.
Are playing the game to lose.
What it is.
Yep.
But,
does that just about wrap up the Sixers?
Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, it's been
now that I'm
before we all start crying together.
Sufficiently unhappy and depressed and angry and disgruntled and all of the above.
But
on the bright side, might be able to get to Sixers tickets real cheap now.
That's true. I still haven't been to a game.
Same. So maybe we look to that then.
Yeah. Get those floor tickets to see Kyle Lowry's ancient ass.
Yeah.
His ancient and huge ass.
He's older than us. There's not many NBA players older than us.
Yeah.
Could probably count them on one hand.
Yeah.
LeBron. Kyle Lowry. Nah, probably two.
There's some guys
plenty
out there.
Jeff Green. Yeah, Steph. Yeah, there's still a decent amount.
There's plenty. Relax. Don't get too depressed here.
Yeah, okay. I feel a little better.
He said, I'm an old man.
Guess we could touch on the Fly guys.
Hey,
return from the All-Star break.
Big win. Flyers.
Big win over the Florida Panthers. Cup contending Florida Panthers. They beat them in a pretty hard-fought game. They looked really bad in the first period. Came back.
And they just beat the Jets.
Beat the Jets. All right, there we go. Woo-woo. So those are two pretty good teams that they beat.
4-1.
4-1.
Okay. All right, cool.
Not bad. Great game today, too.
Yeah.
Needed to get a little upswing, but they look good.
Yeah, Tippett's back.
Erson's standing on his head.
Erson's looking good. I mean, I guess it was last week or the week before we were talking about, like, are they really going to be able to lean on Erson like a true number one and give him that big workload? And we're like, maybe not, but kind of seems like they're just going to run him out there a lot. And
he's young.
Yeah.
He's young. He's not old.
Yeah. So, I mean,
he's playing
they'll
good
see what
teams.
they have.
He's playing good teams. He's getting good, shots at him. It's not like he's playing teams that haven't been shooting at him.
He's been playing
a lot of good teams. He's been doing pretty good and making some pretty good saves. He'll probably have some games in there that he'll be tired, and that's fine. But if the team plays as excited and energetic as they did today in the last game against the Panthers, they'll be okay. And they got healthier, which is good to see.
Yeah, Tippett's back.
And Konechny's just a fucking beast, man. The dude is...
Yeah, Konechny had a Gordie Howe hat trick in the first period tonight.
And then he was getting feisty again at the end of the second period.
What did he need, 4:05 or what was it? I don't know, 14, whatever it was he needed. He didn't need that much time. He killed it.
Yeah.
No, they're playing good. I am excited to see that... what was I going to say? I forgot what the hell I was going to say. Do I have it in my notes? Oh. I'm excited to see that they're performing well.
Damn, he is getting old.
Those two shots hit. Those two shots hit. I'm excited to see that they are playing well, considering that the Sixers are letting us down. Their schedule also gets easier because the Flyers have played a lot of tough teams, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see them get like an easier schedule. I think I was listening to the PHLY Flyers podcast. I feel like the Flyers only have like 3 or 4 back-to-backs the rest of the year. They don't have that many back-to-backs, and the ones that they have aren't like 3 and 4 nights or 5 and 7 nights.
Yeah, so that's not too many games where you're going to be forced to play Cal Peterson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Erson's going to get to play a bunch. You're going to just see what he can do against lesser competition. Should be able to get fat off that. We play Arizona. We play Arizona on Monday. They suck. I haven't looked ahead to the rest of the schedule, but the Flyers can run off some wins right here, man. I mean, they just beat 2 Stanley Cup contenders.
Yeah. Well, it's post-All-Star break, too, so people got some time to rest and get right and shit like that.
That's what they needed.
Yeah.
So, despite that 5-game losing streak, they're still third in the Metro. They're still in a playoff spot. So
they played their ass off the first half of the season. I mean, they shattered expectations first half. You get a nice little break. They had a little slump before that, but they get a couple days off, recoup, get the body right. They came out looking hot as ever, back to where they are. So, hey, who knows what they could do, and I love it. They just play fun-looking hockey. Yeah,
against the Panthers. I did not watch any of this game, but I read about it, listened to a podcast or two about it. Against the Panthers, they got outshot like some crazy number in the first period. I forget what the number was, but then the rest of the game, the Flyers, I think it was the third period, the Flyers outshot the Panthers 20-5 or something ridiculous. So I should have written it down, but.
Like shell shock.
To your point, Erson stood on his head in the first period. Then after that, they just took it to him, just blocked a ton of shots.
Yeah.
Just took a bunch of shots, got the puck in deep in the zone, and just were having at it.
But Torts' way of kind of scheming up the game isn't really sustainable for that long of a, that kind of play throughout the season. So you could kind of see in that 5-game losing streak.
Oh, they were
just gassed. I mean, the guys were hurt. They were getting. I mean, they play such
All-Star break came at a good time.
They do play such an aggressive game of hockey. Granted, they have the I guess, the blessing of youth on that team. But like, they're diving, they're putting the stick down, they're jumping, like they're scrappy, they're tough. So yeah, they're just exhausted. So I'm glad that they didn't come out of the All-Star break and still look kind of lazy and ass against teams that you would expect them to get the shit kicked out of them for. They came out, look good, man. And, hey, sleep does everybody pretty good.
Yeah, they've been pucking, dude.
Yeah.
They've been pucking hard. As I said, 6 shots, 99 bananas if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's coming.
See. That's probably happening. No, I forgot to say this when we were talking about the Sixers. That reminded me. If the Sixers do not fall into the play-in, if they are somehow a top 6 seed in the East, I will do 3 shots and 99 bananas on this pod.
All right.
Not the same episode as the 6 for the Flyers.
Put it on the board.
Yeah,
but,
no, same episode, so 6, half bottle. No,
I'm just going to have to keep a bottle here at this point.
Guzzle the whole bottle.
To put a straw in it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But
crazy straw.
Yeah, so that's my Sixers bet. I do think they fall into the play-in, but we're done talking about that garbage team.
Yeah, fuck that team.
But yeah, the Flyers, it's looking more and more likely that they make the playoffs. I mean, they're running off these wins against high-level competition. They're going to start to play some of the dregs of the NHL again. It feels like it's been a while, but their schedule's going to get easier.
Yeah, they look good. I think they, have enough to keep it up. I mean, that during that losing streak, some of their guys who were performing really well were kind of slipping off, and it's like, well, they don't really have the depth to make up for that. But now Konechny's back to playing really well. He had a goal tonight, an assist, and he had a goal in the Panthers game. So, as long as those guys can kind of keep playing at that level, they should be able to keep this going and probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Shall see.
Be interesting to see what they do at the deadline. The NHL trade deadline's in March. I want to say it's like March 8th or something. It's late.
Yeah, it's late.
It's later than I even realized it was. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think, obviously, we still expect them to sell Sean Walker.
Yeah.
Probably sell Scott Lawton. But do they also somehow buy? Like, so suppose Cal Peterson looks really bad. They're like, all right, we're set on making the playoffs, and like these 6 points we could lose in the 3 games Cal Peterson starts could make the difference.
Yeah, if there's like a backup out there they get for like a 5th rounder or something.
I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
He sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I could probably get in there. It's like, no, I couldn't.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I don't think any of us.
No, I'm too short. He's some 5'11".
Yeah,
he's definitely taller
gotta be
than me.
big these days to be a goaltender. It's not a...
Yeah, but you're quick to with the little... You know what I'm talking about?
You're
can
giving,
do it?
You're giving me way
Not
too
me.
much
I'm
credit.
out.
I don't even know how to skate.
I don't like hockey like that, but you know what I mean?
Guy, I know how to do that to play hockey.
Y'all know how to skate?
Yeah, I can ice skate.
Hell no.
Trevor?
I can ice skate.
You can ice skate?
Not at an NHL level.
When did you?
Yeah, but a goalie, you just...
When's the last time you went ice skating?
It's probably been a few years at this point, but I can do it.
A goalie, you don't really got to skate like that.
It's not that hard. I actually think it's easier than roller.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Ice skating, I can only ever go like straight into the wall.
I never even tried.
And then I can't make the turn.
How do you turn?
I don't turn. I just go bang, bang, bang.
Turn your feet the direction.
Both at the same time?
I don't know. I guess.
Don't you like turn and put? I can't now. Fuck that shit. I can't
don't know.
do it.
I haven't done it in a while, but I can ice skate a little bit.
I can't do it.
You ski?
Mm-mm.
I went on that ski trip once in 8th grade.
Oh, I didn't go on that. I don't do that either.
That's the only time I ever went. And the first night I tried skiing and I ate shit and like hurt my back. And then I also I didn't know how to stop. Which is, I guess, that's like the thing. Like
that's like the number one rule to learn how to put your feet
and so
like this.
I'm like doing well. I'm like, damn, this is going great. And then couldn't stop. I was like, fuck, this isn't gonna end well. And I ended up just they're like the little lodge was at the bottom of the hill, and I just like slammed full speed right into it. The skis and the poles just went flying out in 4 different directions.
Were you hurt?
Not bad. No, it was like It was I got roughed up a little bit, but it wasn't like that bad. But then after that, what I switched to was the ski blades instead of like skis. They're like you don't need the poles for them, and they're just shorter.
What?
Like they're just like
you don't need the poles, so you're just
snowboarding with 2 feet.
Yeah,
your arms are just out.
Yeah, but it's like they're easier to maneuver because they're short. They don't get crisscross, you know?
Oh.
They're just like, they're a little easier to handle.
Yeah,
because they're shorter.
Snow and ice sports.
Yeah,
We gotta get Dean on here to talk about skiing. He's a ski guy.
He's in Colorado right now. We tried to get him on the pod to talk about injuries, but he's like, nah, I'll either go skiing in a blizzard.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, put me in a hot tub in the snow and ski mountain. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hang out at the resort.
Yeah,
at the lodge.
Yeah, I don't do any of that,
Catch me at the lodge.
Yeah.
I'll ride the lift a little bit, take a little scenic view. Nice, look at that shit. I ain't trying to ski. I can't. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, like with all due respect, you don't really see black people out there skiing. You might see them ice skating, like my mans, who we'll talk about in a minute. But...
Wait, did you see that video that was going around of the? It was like at some, I forget where this was, but it was at some ski resort, and there was like a bunch of black dudes like there, and you just saw this one like old white guy there, and he was so confused. He looked so like shocked and confused, and like, why is all these black guys skiing?
They were probably nice. He was like, damn.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. You don't really see us up there. Like, I ain't doing all that.
I mean, I get it. I don't know.
There ain't snow like that in Africa.
Yeah, you gotta be like,
unless you're climbing the mountains, there ain't snow in
unless
Africa.
You're up there like that.
You gotta. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like most black people really don't even do cold.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, we don't do like cold weather at all. Like 30 degrees, it's like, damn.
You're not trying to get all bundled up and go hit the slopes real quick.
Hell no.
Yeah, not like gotta be like those guys in Cool Runnings.
Yeah,
going to the
Canada sloosh. What
yeah,
they do?
The bobsled.
The bobsled team.
See,
like, Cool Runnings is a great movie.
Bobsledding seems kind of cool.
Till you get killed, though. People will be dying doing that shit.
It is dangerous,
saw the one thing, the skeleton, dead. Sliced their throat right open.
Oh. Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
Doing a test run.
Yeah, so some of that's the thing, too. All these ice sports are scary, but...
And try doing that, then the guy go up there to have to, like, clean it up for the next day.
Yo, hold up. You know which ice sport is my favorite? Curling.
Oh, yeah, with the...
I could do that.
Hell yeah. We could have a pretty good curling team, I'm not gonna lie.
I could do that. Curling's all right, yo.
If we had a 3-person curling team, who would be the little broom person? Who would be the person throwing the puck? Because you got to have, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Someone's doing
you got
the little...
a broom guy, you got a shooter, whatever but there's got to be a name for that.
And someone's doing a spotter. I think shooter is a good name for it.
I would be the sweeping person.
I think if you're the best on ice, you should be the pushing out the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be the sweeping person.
Yeah.
I'd be good at that, I think. I'd be sweeping the path, dude.
Spotting them
doing
up.
A good job. I'd be sweeping just right.
You ever see the pictures
accurately.
of the guys that like usually win that shit, or women, like whoever plays? The one that's like the most generic, like just suburban, slightly overweight white dudes that will like just drink beer and watch sports in their garage every day because they're all like just kind of big guys, just like throwing ice.
I mean, it's the ultimate just like lazy.
Swedish.
Hell
it's
yeah.
the ultimate like lazy like Canadian.
The USA team, you're like, this is about right. This makes sense. I can see these guys being fucking curling athletes here, but they still win Olympic gold medal.
Yeah,
if they do it. I like the speed skating shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Speed skating.
Oh, that shit's sick.
Yeah,
they're doing the laps real fast.
Hell yeah.
I ain't doing all that.
No,
dude.
not saying we got to do it, but like that's my my
be.
favorite ice sport.
In like the Winter Olympics.
What about cross country skiing?
Oh, that's boring as shit.
Nah, that's so stupid.
I hear that's harder than regular skiing.
Don't they
though.
Well,
shoot
yeah,
guns?
it's definitely more strenuous because you got to really push with your arms. Like
you probably get
tired.
brolic as hell doing that.
Probably,
but they're all
as
pretty
shit to
lean
watch.
doing it though. You can't be that big.
Yeah, but you're probably still pretty brolic though. You might be lean, but you might be brolic.
Yeah.
I did see a cool video where somebody was doing that and they dropped their sticks and someone had extra sticks. This like Canadian race, and they gave them an extra pair of sticks and then they lost. This person was like this, like you and me next to each other, and then you would drop your sticks, and they went, hold up, gave them their sticks, and then you beat me.
Damn.
Ass. That's some Canadian shit right there.
That is very Canadian.
Yeah.
But, all right, I guess.
But opposite of Cole, we got spring training coming up soon.
I got to give a shout out to my man, dude.
Back in
Number
the snow.
17, Wayne Simmons. I guess did he
didn't
officially announce
retire,
it?
but said he's done playing.
He said, "I'm not retiring, but I'm not playing,
but I'm not retiring."
so like,
all right.
He's for all intents and purposes, he's done.
Yeah, Wayne Train, the man,
the
legend.
The train stops here.
Like my favorite Flyer probably ever.
Yeah, he's definitely up there for sure.
Great Flyer, big time.
It's like the Flyers had other black players. Ray Emery, shout out to Ray Emery, may he rest in peace.
Yeah,
Donald Brashear, he was the man. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, he was all right, but he was no Wayne Train, dude.
Yeah,
Wayne Train was the man,
French.
dude. Hey, nothing wrong with French.
Yeah.
Back uses a French Canadian last name, dude. Well. Don't be dissing France.
Damn, look at him. See, that's that Russian to him talking.
Yeah, right. Need to go hang out with your boys, Putin, Stalin, Lenin, your boys, dude. But nah, man, yeah, have a special place in my heart for Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Simmons was a man.
Yeah, he ruled.
He was so good. Like, he was so good on the power play in front of the net for all those years.
Yeah,
dude.
Great power forward. Doing the dirty work on the power play.
Yeah, he's like
didn't lose a fight ever. I don't think I ever saw him lose.
Nah, he never got rocked.
At worst, a draw.
Never saw him hit the ice.
But I've seen him knock out a guy or two. Just blast people.
Like
yeah,
two of my favorite memories of him was the 2017 All-Star game. He was the only Flyer to make it. That team was bad that year, and then he won the MVP.
Oh, that's right.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't even very good by this point, but his last game, which all three of us was at, the Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Against Pittsburgh.
Oh my God.
The Stadium Series.
In the rain, in the cold.
Yeah, he didn't even really make much of an impact that game, but you just knew that was probably going to be his last game, right? Yeah.
Great jerseys, great atmosphere. What a great environment,
that was so much fun, even though it was cold and wet as shit, and we left early because Jacob was complaining, like always. But anyway, so yeah, like after that game, I remember watching footage of this the next day, where Giroux, he scores the game-winning goal. So they used to do the tradition where the player of the game would rock the helmet. Mm-hmm. And then Giroux's rocking the helmet, and he gets it to Voracek because Voracek scored the game-tying goal. So Voracek gives the helmet to Simmons. He's like, this may be your last game. You're my brother. I love you, and you deserve this. And then Simmons,
they were roommates for a while, I believe. Voracek and Simmons,
Hell yeah.
That made me so happy. And then sure enough, it was his last game. Yeah. But it was just poetic to see that happen. And special place in my heart for Wayne Simmons. Like, probably the best black Flyer ever. I think that's probably fair to say.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
so.
And, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to get emotional.
Damn.
It's time for another shot. But yeah, we can move on to warm weather sports now.
Yeah, I mean, pitchers and catchers in a week.
That's about it. They shipped
Not
off
really much else to say about the.
They shipped off the fucking.
Not doing too much.
What is it? The equipment to.
Yeah, the bus was driving around today.
Yep. They sent the Fanatic down with the bats and the balls.
You know, so that's about it. Dave Dombrowski was like, "We're not going to be."
He was talking.
He said that despite the fact that they didn't make any crazy moves, it's not for lack of effort or for lack of what they're trying to do. But, you know, I mean, it's baseball. They kind of shot their load the last 2-3 years. So, like, I understand that they're probably a little tight in the purse. You know, they have no problem paying the fines or whatever to, you know, have the little whatever it is if you're going to spend extra money and all that shit. But, like, you got a good offensive team. Harper's going to be healthier than he was last year. Probably the last 2 years you had him for a full season. It'd be good to have him back healthy and fine. You got a bullpen. You got both aces back. You know, Nola came back. They're going to sign Wheeler hopefully to a long-term deal after or at least, you know,
he said re-sign him. He spoke on WIP the other day. He said that's the number one move.
So I think that all the bats are back. You got, Turner.
Turner should be better than he was for most of them.
Right. If he's half as good as he was the second half of the year to start the season, we don't go on that early slump. And that's really what's been killing this team every season the last 3 years since we got Harper, where it's like they don't quite know what to do in the first, 2 months. And then they start playing, and then they're like trying to get into a wild card spot. We're like, they don't really need to make, they could put offers out there for good players, but this roster right now could go win it whenever they want. And I think Dombrowski's, doing what he can to add some pieces here and there, but not do anything too crazy yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the roster's set up to contend. I have my concerns. Dombrowski said it's probable that Rojas is the starting center fielder, but not likely. You have to really hope that he learned how to hit high velocity. Or not even breaking stuff. Breaking stuff was his problem last year. You have to hope that he really learned how to hit breaking stuff. He does look yoked. You seen pictures of him, man?
Yeah,
he
he's
looking brolic.
Well, it's kind of like Alec Baum that way, not in the full sense of being developed, but like we haven't, we're kind of we used in the early 2000s when we had Utley and Howard and Rollins and Victorino, we were a developmental team. We kind of lost sight of that with just buy. We've been buying all these guys that can hit already. Schwarber, Harper, fucking Turner. I mean, Castellanos, JT even. So, we're starting to see now, the Stotts and the Bombs. Maybe Rojas can be the next guy to be a young guy that we have, that we grew, that we can help develop. Because you don't really have anybody else from a hitting perspective that they're calling up and trusting in that.
Not anytime soon.
And the fact that he kind of was one of the pieces that but he was a weak link in the playoff run. They're putting a lot of trust in him, saying, hey, we're not going to go out there and get another center fielder right now. We're going to hope that you can develop and focus on your game.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little concerned about that.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I think that even if he only gets slightly better, that's okay. I mean, he didn't really come into fold and play until, when Marsh got hurt?
August, yeah.
So, again, I think that you have a full offseason of knowing that you're the guy, or at least potentially the guy. Puts a little fire in your butt. At least you have a little center field kind of competition out there. So, I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm just concerned he's going to just pick up where he left off in the playoffs, which probably just the Negadelphian in me. I'm sure he'll be better, but I have my concerns about that. I'm also concerned about this. Everyone's saying we need to sign Zach Wheeler. We need to extend Zach Wheeler.
He's a little old.
Exactly. And a pitcher that relies on velocity so much, what's he going to look like in 3 years? If we extend him for 5 years, he could be ass by the third year. Cliff Lee wasn't necessarily a pitcher that relied on velocity. Cliff Lee didn't have a precipitous decline like Roy Halladay, which Roy Halladay's decline was partially the result of drugs. It wasn't natural, but Cliff Lee also was very good for a while. Then he just started getting injured. Then he just left the team.
Yeah.
Right? And that can happen with pitchers where they just have one injury and that's that.
Yeah.
And with the Phillies were still playing Cliff Lee for a year or two after that.
Well, you're hoping, I guess, guys like Painter actually can play.
He's not pitching this year.
No, but I guess the hope is that then Wheeler kind of holds you over until Painter then can be healthy and come in.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's just kind of the cost of doing business. If you want a guy like that around, you're going to have to pay, overpay, deal with those back-end years so that you can get 2 or 3 good years.
The Phillies are doing that too much.
The weird thing is, though, is that Wheeler might have a decrease in velocity year over year, especially in regular season, but he earns his weight in gold in the postseason with his velocity, because when he plays in those big games, he does go bonkers with velocity.
Is this his last year under contract? I think they have to extend him.
I mean, I think they need to.
It depends on what
they might not be pretty, but
I'm not crazy about it.
It depends on
what the next few years are kind of.
They don't have any pitching prospects that other than Painter that are close.
Depends on what the market is. It depends on 2 things right there. I guess 3 really. How he plays this year, how the team does this year, and what the market is next offseason for pitchers.
Yeah, you'll be able to gauge a lot of it.
If he comes out there and does the same thing that he did this year, re-sign him, no big deal. If he does just as well as he did last year, and we get a deep postseason run where either in the World Series and win, or right around that, okay. If he has a slight decline in the regular season, but then we still make a deep postseason run and he's killing it when he does pitch, okay. But if he shows some signs of decline in big moments in the regular season, playing the Mets or playing the Marlins or playing any kind of regular team like that, playing LA, they're going to be a big team to play this year. And there's a big market after this season for pitchers, I say you cut his ass. If Painter also is healthy.
Well,
which is a big if.
What I think is they're going to try to do the same thing they did with Nola, in that they're going to try to negotiate before the season starts. So you won't really have an opportunity to see how
they'll try to buy him low.
Yeah, but they also might be buying they might be buying him while his value's high to them, and then he comes out and has a dud of a season, and it's we're stuck with this guy for 4 more years.
That's the name of the game, and buying people out. Though,
yeah, like Trevor said, it's the cost of doing business. It's just I don't like it, and it could end up backfiring, especially because you figure they're backloading or they're front loading a lot of these contracts, trying to get the most value out of these guys front end of their deals. I mean, we're talking Harper, Turner. Granted, Wheeler's going to be retired by then, but it's just. If that's the cost of doing business, is dealing with the shitty years of a contract at the end of it to get a couple good years at the front of it, I don't know if I like doing business. You have to do it, right?
Yeah, but what else are you going to do?
It's just...
Well, if anything, though, if you do buy him out, though, and we don't have to harp on the Phillies like this, but if you do buy him out like that, he could take not your ace role, but he would be a great fucking bullpen guy.
If that's
you know what I mean? Like if you have it lined up where you have another ace to go with Nola or whatever it is, it could be a phenomenal person to have in the bullpen that way. But I understand the value isn't really there until you see. What happens.
If him and Nola are both on the books in 5 years and they both suck, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. But they start in a couple of weeks, so we'll see what's up.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to talk about the Phillies. But those are just a couple of things. That as the spring training is approaching anyway, I'm thinking, I'm not feeling great about them. But anyway.
Yeah. Do we want to do some Super Bowl predictions real quick?
Yeah.
We don't have to really get into the whole game because we're kind of running low on time, but just how you guys think the game's going to end, scores, what have you?
You can go first.
I'm going to say KC wins it again. Did they go back-to-back? I think KC's defense is going to give San Fran a hard time. I think that this postseason has really... I don't know. I didn't really respect or think about KC's defense at all, but the postseason run, they've played some pretty good teams, and for being even a subpar defense is what I thought. They've been shutting... I mean, their second-half defense is insane. You can't overlook that. I think San Fran's still immature. I think they have some fucking bitch-ass energy to them. I don't love KC, but I hate San Fran.
Yo, what was this about Debo's talking shit about the Eagles? Did you see that?
He said he didn't think a rivalry is a rivalry because they're usually close games. I'm like, dickhead, they've both been blowouts. You blow us out in a regular season game. We blow your bitch ass out in a championship game. Yeah, so I don't want to get to that. But I think KC is going to prove the fact that they are the next dynasty in the NFL, win this game handedly. In terms of score, what's my block poll? I don't know what my block poll is right now.
You had a 7 and a 2.
A 7 and a 2? Well, I hope it's like
32-27.
Yeah, I'll take that. I want it to be more than that. Nah, fuck my block poll. I want it to be like 38-24. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so this is how I think it's going down. And I don't know if this is so much what I think is going to happen, but this is what I really want to happen. It's like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Or maybe even less time than that, whatever. It's
2-minute warning.
San Francisco's driving. They're down 27-28. They're forced to kick a field goal. They go up 30-28. The whole season they've had that rookie kicker who's blown it.
Shit.
He comes through big in this game, gets 3 big field goals, And then, but sure enough, Pat Mahomes has got the ball in his hand at the end of the game, driving down the field. And they're not quite in field goal range. Need to pick up a first down. Throws the ball incomplete. San Francisco's going nuts. The whole Bay Area is in complete jubilation. They think they finally won the Super Bowl. But there's a flag.
Yep.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
That could very easily happen.
You look at the replay, it's the most ticky-tack shit you've ever seen.
That could very easily happen.
Bosa just sneezed on Mahomes, and Mahomes just was like, and just falls backwards like he's trying to win the fucking Oscar, and the refs buy it.
Karma is a bitch, baby.
And sure enough, they drive down the field, and San Francisco's got one more shot to at least, they know that they're going to have to kick this field goal, but they have one last shot to at least get the ball back,
Mm-hmm.
They got to, hold them this one time, prevent them from getting the first down. It's like 3rd and 6 or something. And they got the end zone covered. They got everybody covered. Looks like Mahomes going to get sacked, but he scrambles out of it, runs, picks up the 6 yards, gets the first down. They wind the clock down to 3 seconds, kick the game-winning field goal as time expires. KC 31, San Francisco 30, and I win $380.
That's pretty suspenseful, though.
Hell yeah. I was into it. I was locked in.
Yeah, that was good.
I feel like I was watching a Super Bowl.
All right, so yeah, I guess I'm up next. So yeah, I do think that Kansas City's going to win. I think the final score is 31-27. Here's the deal, right? So San Francisco, for as much love as their defense gets, their defense isn't great against the run. We saw the Lions the first half destroy them. They ran all over him the first half.
First half, owned
so
that
I think
team,
Isaiah Pacheco gets going early, does well, probably gets a touchdown or two. Kansas City runs the ball down their throats. Niners are able to keep up. I think the Kansas City rushing defense probably isn't great either. I think it's to be a running game. But what happens in the second half is Patrick Mahomes does his thing. He takes over. Travis Kelce gets a TD. Taylor Swift is shown on TV. A bunch of right-wing conservative Republicans and guys with high-pitched voices turn the TV off and start whining. They see Usher on the TV, too.
Lose their mind.
They see a black man and Taylor Swift on their TV. They're ready to commit suicide, and they're all unhappy. But then, you know what happens? So Mahomes wins MVP, goes and busts his dad out of jail for getting a DUI. Puts his pop on the field. Pop smoking his stogies, smoking on that Brock Purdy. And the 49ers complain about the practice fields. Have you seen this shit?
Oh, I have seen that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's bitching about the practice fields.
He was drunk, too, in his interview today.
That's why I want the Niners to lose on a bullshit flag, because I just really want them to have another year of just complaining about something all year.
Fuck them. I hope they lose.
Even if it's a legitimate complaint. Yeah. I want it to be a terrible call. Like
something
a terrible
bad.
roughing the passer call.
Bullshit, holding.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I think they're going to complain about the field. They're going to say, yeah, we didn't really have a great week of practice.
Yeah,
the Sodfather sabotaged us.
That's what I'm saying. Who's doing the painting of the field?
The Sodfather is there messing with their field, dude.
I also hope that their right
Bosa's
tackle...
slipping and sliding on that shit.
I hope the right tackle for KC is jumping off sides every time, but they're not calling it like he always does, where he has a little quick step just to beat Bosa, and they don't call it all game.
Johnson move.
I don't know. It'd be cool. Fuck it, Andy Reid, get another ring. I don't give a shit. I'd rather see them win. Fuck San Fran. Fuck that team.
I'm so over them.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? We got to shout out our haters.
Although, time out real quick too.
Oh.
Taylor Swift might not be there because she will be in...
She'll be there.
Brazil.
She'll be there.
She's doing a concert that same day. Or Japan.
She'll be
that same day.
But I think she has enough time to get back.
People mapped it out.
Japan to Vegas isn't that far, dude. It'd be one thing if it was in like New Orleans. That's far.
That's still pretty far, though.
It's a hell of a lot closer than if it was on the East Coast.
That's still like 10 hours, though.
I think she'll be there.
Yeah.
That's a shot bet.
That's a prop bet. Yo, I'm putting probably
She's
$100
definitely
on
going
that.
to be.
Like, I'll bet you
people have broken
doing
this.
too many shots.
People have already broken this down. She has plenty of time.
I'll bet Trevor 2 shots that she won't be there for the Super Bowl.
She will be there for the Super Bowl.
All right,
she will
guarantee.
I bet you she won't be there.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy your liquor.
Not because I'm an ultra right conservative that I don't want her to be there. I'm just saying I just don't think logistically she could be there on time for the Super Bowl. Now, are we saying kickoff or just?
She's not. She's not
by the end of the game. By the end of the game.
Time out now.
She's not flying commercial, Pat. I mean,
I understand she hates the environment. I'm just saying, you think she will be there for kickoff?
Yes.
I'm saying not kickoff.
kickoff.
Just to make it clear, I'm not saying...
I don't think she gets there by kickoff.
Time to spare.
I'm saying she will not be there for the start of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she'll be there.
All right, cool. That's a bet.
All right.
This is going to be interesting. We'll see about that one. But, damn, dude, the Sodfather's fucking around with the Niners. I might respect the Sodfather.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I hope Bosa tears his ACL.
No, he's got to stay in the game long enough to get that roughing the passer call at the end of the game.
True.
I hope, you know who I hope the flag is on more so than Bosa? Hargrave.
That'd be funny.
That'd be fucking hysterical.
I don't have any
Fuck
ill will.
Nah, I do. Fuck that guy. Talking all that shit. Our team's soft. The practices were too weak.
But
bitch, you were in the Super Bowl.
I don't think he was really talking shit.
He said their practices were too soft.
Well, he walked that. He said after that, he said, yeah, he compared the 49ers to the Heat in the way that they practice, but he compared the Eagles to the Warriors. He was like, yeah, they're both really good teams. Just one team practiced different than the other.
Fuck that guy.
Who
were you with before, dickhead?
He wasn't disparaging us that much.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Get the fuck out of here, Hargrave.
Jesus Christ, you're being too hard on him.
Bum. Or I hope the flag is on Chase Young. His bitch ass too. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I hope it's on Dre Greenlaw trying to fight Big Dom, dude.
Fuck San Fran.
You know what else? In some other sad news, as if it wasn't sad enough that all this shit's going on with the Sixers and this and that, our friend and longtime Jacksonville Jaguars fan, King Charles, has been diagnosed with cancer.
He's a Jags fan?
No, I'm just saying because they're trying to be like the England team.
They do have the owner of the Jags does have the was he on Wembley Stadium?
They're in England every year. They're like trying to push that.
Yeah, the other London.
Yeah. But okay, so this is the funny part of this about this. Well, I mean, depending on your politics, you might think it was it's funny.
I know the listeners are fans of British monarchs.
We're not. I'm not a supporter of the monarchy, but this is one of his.
Trevor's a loyalist over here.
Yeah, you know me. But this is royal expert Tom Bauer discussing the king's cancer diagnosis. I think this is that guy Nigel Farage he's talking about.
This fucking guy, the Brexit guy.
Any idea what's going on? Well, I think what's going on is that the king, I'm speculating, but the king is a great fan and always promoter of alternative medicine. He would not be one for chemotherapy. He's always argued against it. He's a great believer in natural herbs and potions and things like that. So my guess is that at the moment he's taking advice from a man called Michael Dixon, who he's championed for many years, who headed his own, the King's Natural Alternative Medicine Institute, discredited by many people, but the King is a great believer in it. And I was always, last night, I was very surprised that people kept on saying, well, he's going to have chemotherapy or radiation or the rest of it. You know, he doesn't believe in it. He does not believe in it. And it's a risk. I find it's a risk. And I think going to Sandringham is where he wants to take these alternative medicines in a quiet way. Interesting line.
Yeah, so it goes on. But the big news there is that the King of Britain doesn't believe in chemotherapy. He's a believer
is he an anti-vaxxer?
Alternative medicine. I don't know. He's probably not vaxxed.
Yeah, if he's
probably,
like that,
he doesn't get that vax. Yeah, when he was like, I think he'll follow the advice of a man named, I forget the fuck it is, but I was almost ready for him to be like, I think he will follow the advice of a man named Joe Rogan. He's actually a very he's a very big listener of the Joe Rogan Experience. He's going to be on. He's going to be taking ivermectin and doing that. This is pretty much what Steve Jobs did too.
I mean, when you live a life of just fucking lavish luxury, you can afford to be like, you know what, fuck it, let me get this random expert in cell development and do my own little thing.
What if he's just really afraid of losing his hair? You think he'd rather be
those luscious locks? Oh my god!
He'd rather have that mane and be dead than go through with the chemo and be bald. He doesn't want to be a bald.
Yeah, but the chemo have the little fucking sausage fingers too, though, real quick.
Yeah, I know. He's got the sausage fingers.
He got them little English links over here. We don't need that. That's disgusting. Fuck that. I hope he dies soon. Let it end it quick.
It is hilarious that, dude, this guy had been waiting like 70 years for his wife to die.
His mom.
Wait, is that
Queen Elizabeth was his mom?
Was that his mom?
Yeah, that was his mom.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Okay.
His wife died instantly.
Yeah, she's been.
Princess Diana. He
dude,
got her out of the way real quick.
She been dead.
You never know with these people. They're all inbred. They're all a bunch of inbred freaks.
He got Diana out of the picture real early. Yeah.
But now
Queen Elizabeth was like 100.
He only got like a few months, and now he's already on the way out.
Yeah. He's only 75.
Well, he ain't gonna last that much longer if he's.
He looks awful, dude.
I hate
doing
to tell you
natural medicine.
Once you get hit with the old big C.
Who's gonna be king after him?
Prince
William, that Carson Wentz looking dude.
The bald, no, the bald one.
Who's the Carson Wentz looking dude?
He's Harry. The guy who like defected. I think.
Oh, he's cool.
Harry married fucking what's his name from Suits? Who's
the
actress in Suits?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
He defected. Oh, I'm
Harry, they're like that. They like left the family.
William is going to be the next.
Yeah,
William
the
bald guy
with corny. Yeah.
with Kate Middleton.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of all the different ways that they could be trying to keep him alive. Like, you guys have read about James A. Garfield at the end of his life?
Who the hell's
did they freeze him?
No. So Garfield, he's the one. He there was an assassination attempt on him. He got shot.
Nice.
And.
Was it Brock Purdy?
No, but they were trying to like keep him alive, and what a lot of people think is that the doctors are the ones that actually killed him, because if they had just done nothing, there's a chance that maybe he would have lived. But they just were doing all this insane shit. They came to the conclusion that they were not going to be able to give him like medicine and shit orally, because that would have maybe interfered with something and whatever. So they ended up just like shoving shit up his ass.
Nice.
Like they were shoving like soup and whiskey and like weird medicine, all this stuff. Yeah, if you look up.
Was he saying like, "Hey, I think I'm all right"?
I don't know. He's not a doctor. He's probably just like, well, I guess this is what they say they got to do.
They were like, "Here's some medicine. Here's some chunky beef stew." Dude, why were they shoving soup up his ass?
Like
he could still eat.
So he was boofing whiskey.
Yeah, he was boofing whiskey.
Oh my
God. He was boofing all kinds of stuff.
What, he wasn't shot in like the jug. Like
I forget exactly where he was shot, but they, for whatever reason, they came to the conclusion that they were not going to be able to give him oral medicine and food or whatever. So they just started putting things in his ass.
So they just started pouring beef stew up his ass.
Yeah, and whiskey and all kinds of stuff.
It'd be a shame if he was like still talking though, like, guys, like, I'm actually okay. Like I can.
No wonder the average life expectancy was like 50 years.
And then he died. And it was actually the shooter. The shooter was actually quoted as saying, "I didn't kill him. I just shot him. The doctors killed him." But yeah,
is he labeled
but I'm wondering if maybe they're going to do something similar like that to King Charles.
It's a different time, man. Medicine has evolved too much.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe in it.
But
you're talking in 1910s, dude.
Yeah.
Garfield.
They don't have blenders back then. They're putting beef stew. They're putting up beef chunks up that ass. They're not putting like.
Well, at least at this point they could.
Imagine having.
They could put the whiskey and the beef stew in like a NutriBullet.
Well, whiskey.
And then put it up
with
an
whiskey
enema
poured up your ass. You'd be fucked up.
Whiskey, I would dabble with. Put that thing in a tampon, put it in my butt. Let's see what happens. Let's boogie. What? I'm just saying. But soup, you missed me with that.
Soup, yeah. Beef.
Whiskey, I would.
Bouillon.
I would test it out. If I got shot in the chest, fuck it. Put that shit in my ass. Let's see what happens. Shots. You know, I'm just saying. We're just testing out for science. You know, just for science. Relax.
Yo, wild for that one. You wild for that.
Soup. I don't want no chunky noodle soup up on my butt. I'm okay
with
that.
A nice tomato basil?
A little acidic. A little acidic.
French onion.
It's also acidic.
Lentil.
Let me get some like just
lentil. Lentil would be uncomfortable.
What about an Italian wedding?
I want some potato
meatballs. Oh
yeah, but sometimes they're little small guys.
Yeah, it might be a little. Tiny,
I want like just some, potato bacon cheddar,
broccoli and cheddar.
Yeah.
Or,
What's a real brothy soup? Let me get that. Let me get some pea soup.
A real brothy soup? Oh, pea soup.
Pea soup.
Some snapper soup?
Ooh, with the sherry?
Seemed like you might be into that.
I love snapper soup. Oh man, snapper
I haven't had that
soup.
in a long time.
Man, that's good.
You know, like a snapper.
Yeah, but yeah, you want to shove a shot up my ass? Go for it. Soup? I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of exotic herbs and holistic medicine King Charles does.
You ever hear the conspiracy theory that the royal family is like it's gonna sound fucked up. How would I say it? Amphibic frogs, like they're frogs.
Amphibious?
I thought you were gonna say something way more offensive than that. You were like, frogs?
Yeah, amphibious.
Oh, well, there's the whole thing where like people are lizards.
That's this family.
Lizard humanoids.
They seem kind of lizard-like.
That's his family. That's why they always.
There's a lot of people that think that all these like politicians and world leaders are lizards.
Mostly
that theory's been around for a while.
The royal family, though.
Yeah, I could see. I mean,
I don't doubt it.
How else could they have survived all this inbreeding? You think you'd be getting cancer way before now?
Yeah, lizards don't have to worry about.
Yeah, they're cold-blooded.
They just eat each other. They fuck each other.
They lay eggs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the thing is people think that the Habsburgs and all these are been a result of inbreeding, but maybe the inbreeding was just a cover story for the eggs that they lay. They didn't want people to know about those eggs.
That's right.
And they couldn't no outsiders could claim that they had sex with them, so they had to rely on their own family to say that they had sex with them.
And the Russians do have that one really nice gem that's an egg.
The Fabergé egg.
See?
It's all coming together.
Onto something.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the Russians.
We're on to it. Well, I think that's just going to do it for us here tonight, everybody. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review every your podcast. Leave us a subscribe and give us some likes on YouTube. Follow on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Yo, hold up. Shout out to the haters.
Oh, yeah, we did get some haters. People were really mad that we said that Pat Mahomes was annoying. We didn't even say it was bad. We just said annoying, and they were really upset. But
so the haters would like that all three of us said the Chiefs are going to win.
Hey, yeah, dude.
But also, fuck you, dickhead.
I'm on team. Yeah, I'm on Team Mahomes for this week, at least.
Also to the haters, man, and to the listeners as well. Hey, grab your friend's phone, grab your partner's phone, your roommate's phone, your son's phone, your daughter's phone, your mom's, your dad's.
Grab all the phones.
Like us on TikTok, like us on Instagram. If they don't have a TikTok or an Instagram,
or a phone,
make a profile for them. Like us, follow us, like our shit on YouTube, follow us on Spotify. Start playing our shit, put the phone down, walk away, let them come back and hear it. Help us get our views, our listens, our likes, all that shit up, and continue to be a hater because
the
engagement is how we get discovered even more.
We welcome the haters. We welcome the shooters.
We don't welcome the shooters. I ain't trying to get shot.
No, I mean like our shooters, like our guys. Yeah, no, please don't come here and kill us.
You can kill Trevor, just don't kill me or Pat. He's the one saying any weapons
we're all
to shooters.
So fucked. I don't know how to run this technology.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, I got it all up here.
And the other stuff that you contribute to life as well that we would lose, obviously. But yes, not just the pot.
Also, send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
See ya.